everyone, welcome to another video. I thought that it would be fun to do a Chanel collection haul. This is everything that I have at the moment. Some things I've sold, some things I've bought, so those of you who have been with me a while, you may recognise some of the stuff here, but some of it may be new to you. I actually want to start with small accessories because I was thinking, it's Christmas coming up and I know that Chanel stuff's expensive, but if you are wanting to get something special for someone and you don't want to spend over 500, let's say, there are definite options you can go for, and of course you get the Chanel packaging. You can actually spend £250 or even £200 in Chanel and still get something that looks nice. Starting with wallets. This is actually a card holder and I got this in Paris. David, who's my husband, and we went to Paris in August and it was our wedding anniversary, and I really wanted to go to the flagship Chanel store and buy something, but when I got there, the cost of everything in Paris is very high. I had another review asking me the other day about this and saying, can you not get the tax back? Because we're in the EU, we in the UK can't claim any tax back, but the real issue at the moment is that the pound isn't doing so well against the euro, and so you could go over to Paris, let's say, or somewhere on the continent, and by the time you've had the exchange rate applied, you actually are spending more money than you would if you just bought it from London. So that's why at the moment, if you're a resident of the UK, it's actually cheaper to buy here at the moment. But because I wanted the experience and I wanted the little white Chanel bag, I decided to get some small things. If you're someone who carries around mainly cards, maybe sometimes a few notes, then it's really good. You can fit so many cards in here. I would like to advise, go into Chanel, get them to bring out the trays of jewellery, of small leather goods. Just say, I don't even care. I just say, what have you got for this amount of money? Don't be ashamed of your budget. Whatever your budget, it just cuts a lot of the rubbish, and then they can show you everything that they've got, and there might even be some things that are just a teeny bit over your budget, but you decide to go for that. You see what I'm saying? So it's quite handy to have that. My second card holder is this. So I should have said the other one is in the boy style. This is in the classic flap. This is something that I recommend probably out of everything that I've got. I really recommend this. I bought this in 2010. At the time I paid about £250 for it. Lord only knows how much it is now, because every year Chanel has an average of a 10% price increase that normally happens around November. I have seen these for sale on Vestiaire Collective and on secondhand websites, and they go in excess of 500, and I paid £250 for this. And I think it's a couple of things. I think first of all, Chanel are not terribly transparent with their prices. In the UK they do list the prices, but they do not list every single thing they sell. This isn't on there, for example. So I think for a lot of people you might not realise. I think there's that aspect, but I also think when you're selling something like this, you've potentially got a larger pool of people who would spend 500 than you do a pool of people who might spend 4,000 on a bag. So these are quite good in terms of enjoying it, but then being able to sell it potentially for good money or maybe a bit more. My most recent purchase, and I got this last week. I've been after this particular item for a long time and I could never get it. I've always wanted a pair of the Fingerless Chanel gloves, and I got these. These are from the new Space collection, and you can also get them in silver. Just imagine on Christmas morning getting them. I would be so happy to get those, and you can wear them like with any outfit. I first saw this again when I went to Paris. I saw it in Paris. This was from memory around about £900, but I didn't spend that on it, and in reality I wouldn't spend 900 on it despite the fact that I like it. You can put this over a Zara jacket and it makes the whole thing look better, and this is one of the things that I enjoy doing most with designer fashion. I would say I buy very few designer clothing pieces because they tend to date quite quickly, unless they're like a classic thing. But very often I like to buy accessories, and then you can take something from Topshop like this blazer here, and I put that over the top of it. It sort of just makes the whole thing look like it's more expensive. I was gonna say I didn't pay 900 for it, and that is because I had a very big voucher from Harrods that you get when you collect the points. Basically they give you like a voucher back, so I used that against this, and that's how I got it. Before we move on to shoes and bags, we're going to talk about jewellery. Again, for those of you who have been with me a while, you're going to be sick to the back teeth of the stuff that I'm about to show you. The fact is, I think I went through a phase in 2015, 2016 of buying lots of the earrings and the brooches. Although I love them and I use them so much, in terms of my cost per wear, it's probably like 20p or something now because I wear them constantly. But I sort of got a little bit disheartened with a lot of the Chanel costume jewellery, and I know it is costume jewellery and it's called that for a reason. But if you get anything that's got loose stones in it, they fall out. And I don't get perfume near them. I literally look after these things, but I learn pretty quickly to get things that are just one solid piece as opposed to anything that's got any fancy details on it. Now, thinking about Christmas again, these are another very good gift in my opinion. All you have to do is look on secondhand websites to notice the insane amount of money that these are resold for. In fact, I've even seen people that have bought them and they've never worn them, or maybe they've bought them with the just pure intention of reselling them straight away after. These particular earrings, I've seen these on eBay. They are on there at the moment and they're £1,000. I paid 200 for them. Maybe even 180, and that was only last year. When I saw them in the shop and I saw them in the tray, I thought they're really big, they're really oversized. These are definitely gonna be about 300, and I was completely stunned when I found out actually that I think, you know, I'm pretty sure that these were under 200. I feel like they're 180. Again, I'm gonna put the price in. If you want to spend a bit more, but not quite as much as a bag, shoes are a good option. And in fact, last Christmas, David got me a pair of shoes that I'm gonna show you in a second. My most recent pair are these, and I got these in the summer. I'd seen them, I really like this. That's one of the details that I really like on them. This material is a black satin. The toe cap fabric is like a grosgrain ribbon. These are the next ones. These are the ones that David got me for Christmas last year. I love the thicker heel on it, but I also really like the gold that's running along the edge. They're very comfortable. The one thing I feel annoyed about is that at the time it was completely sold out, and then the Sloane Street store managed to get one in a 39.5, and you know I told you I'd take a 40 for comfort. Well anyway, I tried them on and the 39.5 fits me. This is the thing, it does actually fit. The only issue is that after a while of being on your feet, when your feet, you know, swell and get a bit warmer, that's when they start to hurt, and they sort of cut in quite a lot around here, which is a shame because I don't wear them as much as I would like to. I actually got these from the Chanel sale in January 2013. I didn't even know there was such a thing. I think it's a lot more common knowledge now. The quality of the items that go in the sale now, in my opinion, have declined somewhat. It always starts the first working day back in January. So I heard about this sale, I went there, I got there so early in the morning. I couldn't believe the amount of stuff that was in the sale. You don't get any of the classic bags or classic accessories. It is pretty much things from the autumn winter collection that have not sold, but I found these in there. I've actually had the permanent sole put on the bottom of these, and I keep going backwards and forwards about whether I want to sell them, only because I feel like my style has changed slightly since when I bought these. These were 30% off when I got them. Times have changed. I don't even bother going to the Chanel sales anymore because the stuff that is included in them, it tends to be strange things. I mean, you might, if you get there really early on the first day, you might be able to find a few things, but it tends to be a lot of oddities now, so I don't really bother going to it. These were the second thing that I bought when I went to the flagship store in Paris in August. The inside is basically leather, but then on the outside they've applied a fabric over the top. They are so incredibly comfortable. These are my one and only pair of Espadrilles. I bought these when they first came out, which was when I remember getting in my car one day and actually taking the time to drive into London to get them. I can't remember when it was, 2015? They're a pretty good shoe, but I didn't love them enough to end up buying any more of them. But they're not hugely comfortable. I think they've changed them. Like, these are, as I say, these were the original, but the sole doesn't really bend at all, so when you walk on them it does feel like you're walking on a brick sort of thing. And because there's no arch support, my feet did ache a bit when I'd worn these. I think I wore them and I had them on for 8 hours, and by the end of it, even though they're flat and they're soft, my feet did hurt. Next up is the granny shoes. When these came out, there was a massive hype about them and you couldn't get them, and if you could get them, you could only get them in all black, and I really wanted to get the beige with the black toe. I think the trick is with these is that you have to wear them with a very edgy, like severely ripped jeans, maybe like a blazer jacket, but even better would be a leather jacket. If you juxtapose the look of these with the look of a more contemporary youthful outfit, it actually looks quite cool. When it comes to size, I also found these to be a bit big, and I got these in a 39. Out of every pair of Chanel shoes and boots that I've got, my absolute favourites are these. I got these in spring summer earlier this year, 2017. They are probably the only ballet flap from Chanel that I've had so far that I actually really like the look of. In the versions I've had at least, the leather takes quite a long time to supple up, and it can make your foot feel quite painful after a while. But also with these, I find that the width of my foot doesn't compromise the look of the shoe. If this shoe ever came out again, I would 100% buy it. Then my final pair of shoes, and these are probably my most crazy pair. Does anyone remember the Chanel trainer hype that started? It was a bit like the Espadrilles. Well, I bought these at the time. Then I realised that when I wear a high top, I personally don't love the look on me, and I've tried to wear these a number of times and I don't really feel like I carry them off very well. I'm actually selling these at the moment. Okay, I've got a few bags that I've actually sold a couple. This bag, I got this for my birthday last year. This is the classic flap. It's in the jumbo size and I got it with the silver hardware. I tend to buy my biggest purchases around about this time of the year because it's my birthday and it's, you know, I want to get something or whatever. At the end of November, they launched the Cruise collection, and I tend to prefer the things in the Cruise collection because they are classic shapes but in crazy designs and colours. Last year I didn't like the Cuba collection, so I decided to get this instead, which has been on my list since 2007, and I ended up getting it. It was £4,500, which made me feel really sick. It feels like the price of a car, but this is something that I've wanted 10 years. Back in 2007, when I looked at this, it was 1,700 something, and I didn't get it. And then every year that I've left it, it's now £4,500. And I just know it's going to keep going up, it's going to keep appreciating. Even though it's stupid money, back in 2007, 1,700 was stupid money. So if you can save the money up, and if it's not going to affect you financially or put you in any debt or anything like that, then I do think this is one of those bags that is a classic investment, and it really is an investment. As I say, from the price increase there that you can see, it's one thing that's worth getting. My oldest Chanel boy is this. I got this in 2014. This is what I'm talking about. So this was £2,400, and this is the old size large. This bag is now over 3,000, I think 3,800 possibly. This is my newest Chanel boy, and this is really to replace the purple one. I saw it and I've decided that this is going to be my next investment bag that I put away. I might use it a bit actually, because the purple one was quite a soft leather, whereas this is caviar and it's a harder material. Some of you were asking if it was copper. I don't think it is. It's more like champagne gold, rose gold possibly. This is my first and only Chanel mini, and this is also from the Soul Cruise collection that purple bag was from. It's actually a really sweet little bag. The two styles you can either get the square like this, or you can get a rectangle, which is probably about that high and slightly wider. Then the final bag is this. It is, on camera it never looks right. It's actually like a bright lemon yellow, but I think on the camera it looks pretty washed out. This is like one of my favorite bags. I love the color of it, but it feels, you know those licorice all sorts that have got all the dots on them, you know, they come in blue and pink. It looks and feels like one of those. It's actually pretty roomy inside as well. And on this bag, I would definitely consider getting this in the medium or the large size. It's got one larger section and then one smaller one at the back. That small one at the back is really good for putting makeup items in, like a lipstick or a powder compact, because it holds it in place. It doesn't end up rolling around. This was from the spring summer 17 collection. I got this back in, I think I was going on holiday at the time, and I got this at the airport. These are from Acne. This top, sorry about the mess in the background. This room is always like this. This is from Marge, and it's a peplum style, and then it's just made out of this really soft embroidered material. This is the black and gold watch that I got from George, which is like, it's actually pretty oversized. And then the same bracelets that I always wear